So basically, Trump's second term could reshape the Supreme Court. That is essentially what this video is starting to say. So that sounds way fun. Let's hear what they got to say.
Sahil, what are you hearing from Republicans on the Hill about the Supreme Court?
Hey, Chris. Well, we know that confirming judges is going to be a high priority for this new Republican Senate majority. They will have at least 52 seats. They might pad that a little bit given some of the remaining races that are still too close to call that we haven't projected yet. But they only need a simple majority to confirm judges and justices. So they're not going to be able to, or rather, Democrats are not going to be able to do anything to stop them. They'll have plenty of lower court vacancies to fill, but naturally, there's a lot of attention being paid right now to the Supreme Court and this retirement rumor mill, specifically with Justice Clarence Thomas, who is 76, and Justice Samuel Alito, who is 74, the two most conservative members of that court.
Need
term
that they
limits might see this
for
as a prime
Supreme
opportunity
Court
to retire
justices
and secure their seats in conservative hands for another generation or
the
two.
years on
Numerous
that term
Republican senators I've
being
talked to say they
a
expect
single
at least one,
year.
if not two, Supreme Court vacancies in Trump's second term. If Trump gets two more Supreme Court vacancies to fill, he will have appointed 5 justices, Chris. That is a majority of the entire Supreme Court. No president since FDR has done that, and FDR needed 4 terms as president to do that before the 2-term limit was imposed. So who are conservatives watching the most closely? Take a look at what Mike Davis, a conservative legal advisor and a provocateur who's dialed into this world, told me, quote, "I imagine that Justice Alito will want to get the hell out of D.C. as quickly as possible."
Smile on their face as
what
if
criteria
they're
are
not
they going to use? Well, they'll certainly look to Trump's
disgusting
first term. They'll want young and conservative judges and justices. But Mr. Davis also says that Trump will look for judges who are, quote, even more bold and fearless. I asked what that means. He said it means judges will follow the law and not care what the liberal media says about them. There are
By
also
following
some
the law, they of
wild
course
cards,
mean
Chris.
what Trump
Chief
says.
Justice John Roberts turned 70 in January.
Like,
Nobody
don't
really
be
knows
stupid.
what his plans are. He's known to care about the
understand what the fuck
reputation
is
of the
being
Supreme
said
Court,
here.
and he's no longer the swing vote. And then there are Democratic anxieties as well about liberal Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who is also 70 right now. Within hours of NBC calling the presidential race, I got a text, an unsolicited text from one official in the Biden administration saying, quote, "Sonia Sotomayor needs to retire right now," unquote. The reason is they're anxious. They want Democrats to be able to confirm her while they still have power, that if she doesn't stay on the court for another 4 years, Trump could potentially extend that majority to 7-2. Chris.
Sahil, thank you so much for that.
So basically, what they're saying is, if she retired, like, go back, you little. Okay. So what they're saying is she's about to retire?
Right now, unquote. The reason is they're anxious. They want Democrats to be able to confirm her while they still have power, that if she doesn't stay on the court for another 4 years, Trump official in the Biden administration saying, quote, "Sonia Sotomayor needs to retire right now," unquote. The reason NBC calling the presidential race, I got a text, an unsolicited text from one official in the Biden administration saying, quote, "Sonia Sotomayor needs to retire right now," unquote. The reason is they're anxious. They want Democrats to be able to confirm her while they still have power, that if she doesn't stay on the court for another 4 years, Trump could potentially extend that majority to 7-2. Chris.
And how is retiring right now the solution to that? They want to confirm her, but it's like, okay, how are you going to confirm someone if they retire? What is she retiring from? Isn't she already a Supreme Court judge? Like, I'm so fucking confused. But anyway, yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's what they want to do to us. And they want to be extra dirty, extra gross about it.
President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House puts him once again in a position to influence the makeup of the Supreme Court, the effects of which could be felt for decades. Trump appointed 3 justices during his first term: Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett. Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, the oldest conservative justices at 76 and 74 respectively, could retire, allowing Trump to nominate younger lifetime replacements. CBS News legal contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson joins us now. Jessica, how likely is it that Thomas or Alito will step down, and when could that happen?
I think it's not at all outside the realm of possibility. Now, of course, we don't know exactly when, and we know that Supreme Court justices have those positions until they no longer want those positions or until they pass away. But I think that it is, again, maybe more likely than not that we could see at least one vacancy. And for those people saying, well, look at the two people on the screen here, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, they're both conservative votes. What difference would it make to appoint another conservative jurist? The answer is really that Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito cannot serve another 30 years on the bench, but whoever replaces them may absolutely be able to do so. And so we're looking.
Basically, the only way forward is to not pack the courts, but establish term limits. Like, after a certain time, you're out, bitch.
Here at not necessarily a shift in terms of ideology.
Maybe make it so that we don't actually have to fucking wonder whether or not our fascist tyrannical leader is going to end up appointing douchebags. Maybe we should actually be voting for our dipshits. You know, there's a thought. Like, maybe we should actually be making sure that the people who end up in the Supreme Court are actually held accountable to us. Because there's nothing more frustrating than when they do something like abolish Roe v. Wade against the will of the majority of Americans, and then there's just nothing that can be done about it. It's so infuriating, and the whole purpose of America is to be able to hold our leaders accountable. How the fuck are you able to hold justice accountable? You can't. There's no way to fire them. So... But we're not going to end up with anything to fix that for the next 4 years. Like I said, America, y'all can deal with that shit. I have a shit ton of money. I am getting the fuck out of here. Got my passport coming in the mail in a couple of months. And then I'm just waiting for that final sign that it is time to get the hell out of here. And that is when it becomes illegal to be trans. It becomes illegal for me and my partner to get married. Gender affirming care is banned. Tariffs, blah, blah, blah. Contraception, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture.
Of that 6-3 majority, or frankly, perhaps a 7-2 majority. It's
y'all want to deal with that shit? You do you, boo.
But we're basically trying to game out who wants to stay and whether or not somebody would create a vacancy not voluntarily.
So let's pull on that thread a little bit. Would that essentially solidify the Dobbs decision for a generation?
I think it would. I mean, I think that decision is arguably solidified for the short term anyway, and maybe the medium term, in the sense that let's face it.
It's also going to be the case in the long term too. Democrats ain't going to do shit. They're shifting to the right on trans issues, and they like incredibly fascistic when it comes to like the war in Israel, in Gaza. They've also turned right on immigration issues. Democrats ain't gonna fucking do shit. Roe v. Wade is overturned. Okay, boo fucking who? They can still codify it. They still have plenty of time. They gonna do it? Nope. Because they're frauds. They're hucksters. They say all this stuff about social policy and then they never want to do anything about it. Don't even get me started on the fact that they're fucking liberal ass motherfuckers that are corporate as fuck. They want to just defend the liberal, the enlightened liberal fucking capitalist system that we're all subject to on a daily basis. No, they want to like kowtow to the left and saying, oh, we support you, we support diversity, equity, inclusion, and we support like transgender people, and it's like you couldn't even bother to fucking stop turning fucking right on various different social issues. Why should we fucking believe you? Trump was literally the easiest person you could beat. Kamala ran a great campaign. But the problem is it wasn't good enough. There were so many ways in which she fucked up. I keep dunking on the person that accused me of supporting genocide for voting for Kamala. Like, I think it's a fun classic on the show. But let's be real. I actually like, I do actually feel where they're coming from. Because there have been so many talks with Kamala before the election. Like, yo, you got to stop supporting supporting Israel. You got to come out in favor of at least a weapons embargo. Like, you got to do something. Israel is slaughtering the people over there. And her response was, I'm talking. And I knew it was going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be a problem. As soon as she came out, like, I was all excited, like, oh my god, I'm getting fucking horny listening to her goddamn speech. Like, it is everything. It is fucking working class. It is fucking, like, freedom for LGBT people, freedom, like, reproductive care, everything. Like, I'm getting fucking politically horny listening to this shit. Like, I'm like, and then she said that shit about Palestine. And I'm like, oh, god damn it. Fuck, man. And I knew that there was a chance that we were probably going to end up losing her because of the fact that Palestine's the hot button issue right now. Nobody wants a goddamn genocide. But unfortunately, I also do have to emphasize that, let's see, what was I going to say? I'm blacking out again. In terms of, like, supporting... I don't remember where the fuck I was going with that. Why do I always do this to myself? Basically, Harris could have done way, way better. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Essentially, even though Palestine was one of the hot button issues at the time, because Israel was literally committing a genocide... people, here I go again, forgetting my fucking train of thought. Even though, right. Voting counts. Okay, Michaela. Voting counts. Tackling it on. Probably not. Anyway, it still wouldn't have been equal. Trump would have fucking won. Because when you take on all the third-party votes and you add them onto Harris's result, it would have been outside the margin of error. We went over this earlier in the stream. I can't believe it took me for fucking ever to try to get that out of my head. Ugh. I legit hate having ADHD. I wanted to get back on Vyvanse or maybe try Desoxyn or something else, but I don't know. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I'm always going to be this fucking easily distracted. But anyway, I'm going to think I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and probably kill the segment right here. Not the segment, but the stream right here. So, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, please like and share. Follow me on Twitch. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Join my Discord. We got an amazing community we're building. Lots of great people subscribing to Leftist Viewpoints. Thank you for watching my show. Consider supporting me on Patreon. It'll make me less susceptible in situations like this where I break my arm to not having a paycheck from my job, and really prevents me from worrying about whether or not I'm going to be broke in the future if I can't get back to work. So thank you for supporting me on Patreon. And with that, I bid you good day. We love you, and you are amazing. Bye.